Welcome once again to this self-knowledge course. Today we will be talking about the 7 bodies. This is the 10th lecture of the course. If you've missed any of the previous lectures, you can look for them recorded on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. Today's lesson will help us understand that just as this universe is multidimensional, we too are multidimensional beings, and that we not only have this physical body which belongs to this third dimension, but 7 bodies, which can allow us to have a presence in the different dimensions of nature. But, due to our present condition, due to how asleep our consciousness is, we are not aware of this, and these bodies are in a lunar, egoic condition. And of some of them, we only have an embryo, which we must develop, in order for us to begin to have permanent awareness of all the dimensions of nature and to have a constant presence in them. The objective of this conference is that we know each one of the 7 bodies, their functions, development, nature, the laws that they manage, and that we understand that the work of regeneration, creation, and development of these bodies will be done through sex. Since just as our physical body was created through sex, it is through sex that all bodies are created. So, in this conference, the practice of supra-sex will be explained in detail, to learn how we can begin to use our sexual creative energy wisely, to awaken our consciousness in each of these dimensions. What is a body? A body is a vehicle for the expression of our essence in a dimension. Each body moves in a different dimension. Here we see what those 7 bodies are. We already have the physical and vital bodies created. It could be said that they are already developed in an adult, but they are in a degenerate state, subject to many diseases and ailments, since we constantly live abusing our energy. Therefore, we need to do a work to regenerate these 2 bodies and pass them from that lunar state to a solar state. The astral, mental, and causal bodies are, in the majority of human beings, only as an embryo, which allows us some basic functions such as feeling, thinking, and having some will, in addition to allowing us to make brief visits to the dimensions to which each one corresponds. But we need to create these bodies, fully develop them, to access all their functions and capabilities. The Buddhic and Atmic bodies are completely created and in a solar state, but we are currently disconnected from them. By studying these bodies, we will see that each body vibrates with one of the 7 musical notes, and that the denser the body, the lower its vibration, therefore, it will vibrate with a lower musical note. We will also see that each body is of a different nature, from a dense nature such as cellular to bodies of light. We are going to see that each body is governed by a series of laws, which are the limitations to which that body is subjected. We will also see the element of nature with which each one is related, and the energy center of our physical body where they have their seat within us. We will also see the hydrogen with which they work, or the level of purity of energy that it requires to function correctly, and we will see some of its functions. So, let's start by studying our physical body. All of us have our physical body in this third dimension. This body vibrates with the musical note Do, which is the lowest of the 7 musical notes. And this is because the vibration of the physical body is the lowest and densest of the 7 bodies. It is cellular in nature, meaning it's made of cells. This body is governed by 48 laws and forms what we call our outer world or Earth. It is important to know that the bodies are within us. The physical body is the exterior, and the others are increasingly within. The physical body is particularly important because it is a condenser of sexual energy. So, it has the ability to create with the use of sexual energy, not only another physical body, as in the case of physical children, but it is with this body that we can create our internal bodies, learning to make wise use of our sexual energy and of the condensation capacity that it has. This body is related to our sexual center and manages the sexual creative energy. It works with hydrogen 48, which is related to the 48 laws that governs it. It is related to the earth element, and therefore with the gnomes and pygmies that are the elementals of the earth. This body is in a lunar condition due to the misuse we have made of our sexual energy. And we have to regenerate it because we already have it created. There is a second body called etheric or vital. It vibrates with the musical note Re. It belongs to the 4th dimension. This body is the energy that gives vitality to the physical body, and it is the one that gives it energy for its different functions. This body is governed by the same 48 laws as the physical body, since it is the upper part of it. The duration of the physical body depends on the state of this vital body. Since if we constantly spend our energy resources, constantly wasting our sexual, emotional, mental, and motor energy, we weaken faster, and the life of the physical body is shortened. This body is etheric in nature, since it is composed of 4 ethers that are chemical, light, reflector, and life. These ethers regulate our different organic functions. For example, the chemical ether regulates the assimilation of substances in the body, the functions of our internal organs and glands. The ether of light regulates the functioning of our external and internal sensory perceptions, that is, the correct functioning of our senses. The reflector ether regulates our processes of imagination, concentration, and will. And the life ether regulates the reproductive capacity of the physical body. Any irregularity in these ethers due to the wear and tear of this body, or due to karma, will result in one of the many diseases that we usually have, since this vital body watches over the health of the physical body. This body manages our waters, and therefore the undines and nereids, which are the elementals of water. Its physical seat is the instinctive center, in the sacrum. It produces vital energy. It is the tetrasustainer of energies, meaning that it gives energy to the lower centers and deposits the energy in the sexual center to create. It works with hydrogen-24. This body is actually in a lunar state because of the improper use of our sexual energy. When we expel this energy, such as during orgasm or ejaculation, we squander a valuable resource. Therefore, it is crucial to cease wasting our sexual energy and begin purifying it in order to regenerate this body, which is already formed within us. Our third body is the astral body. We have only a principle of this one. This body vibrates with the musical note mi. It is molecular in nature, which is why in the astral plane we can go through walls, or we can stretch any part of the body, and it stretches and then returns to its original state. This body is subject to 24 laws, half the laws of the physical body, and works with hydrogen-24. It is in the 5th dimension, in the emotional world, and works with emotional energy. In us, this embryo of the astral body allows us to have the ability to feel. This body manages our inner fire, and is related to the fire salamanders. This body has as its seat in us the emotional center, at the level of the solar plexus. It is currently in a lunar state. A few human beings possess it, and therefore we must create it. We also have an embryonic mental body, which allows us to have the ability to think. This body vibrates with the musical note fa. It is atomic in nature, since it is made of atoms, and due to this, it is more subtle and lighter than the astral body. It is subject to only 12 laws, half of the laws of the astral body. So, when performing a mental projection, the freedom and ease of movement is greater. This body works with hydrogen-12, which means that the degree of purity of the energy required to create that body is higher. It is in the upper part of the 5th dimension, which is the mental world, and works with mental energy. Creating this body will allow us to have a presence in the mental world, have control over the air element, and over the sylphs and sylphids of the air. It has its seat within us in the intellectual center, at the level of the heart. It is currently in a lunar condition. Only a few people have it, and therefore we must create it. We also have an embryo of the causal body, also known as body of will. It is the 5th body. It vibrates with the musical note sol. This body is subject to only 6 laws. For this reason, the lightness and freedom that is experienced with this body is indescribable for us, since the level of restrictions and materiality are already minimal at that level. This body belongs to the 6th dimension, in the world of causes. This body is electronic in nature. It means that it is composed only of electrons that are the negative charge of the atom. This body handles the ether, which is the ability to dominate nature through the word. This body has as its seat the motor center, at the level of the larynx. And it works with motive energy. It works with hydrogen-6. Currently we have a principle of this body, that is what allows us to deny our desires, but we need to create that body of the solar will through superior sex. We also have a Buddhic body, or body of consciousness. This body is in a solar condition, which means that this body didn't fall. Therefore, it is fully developed. It vibrates with the musical note, la. It is subject to 6 laws, the same number of laws as the causal body. It is magnetic in nature. It is made up of protons, which are the positive charge of the atom. This body is our divine soul. Having already created our causal body, that represents our human soul, we have the right to unite with our divine soul, which we don't have to create because this body is raised and in solar condition. This body is in the upper part of the sixth dimension or Buddhic world. This body manages the Akasha. This is a faculty that allows the master, not only to dominate nature through the word, but also to create through the word. This body has its material seat in the superior emotional center, in the pituitary gland. It is found raised in all human beings, and it's just waiting for us to do the work of creating the first 5 bodies to merge with it. We also have an atmic body, which is our intimate. It's in a solar condition, which means this body didn't fall either. This one is subject to only 3 laws. It vibrates with the musical note C. It is photonic in nature, meaning it is a body of light composed of photons. It is located in the 7th dimension, or atmic world. It is the lowest that our being can reach, which comes from the world of spirit. This body has its seat in the higher intellectual center, in the pineal gland, and it is found raised in all human beings. Now that we have seen these 7 bodies, let's see how we can create them. As I explained, we are going to create these bodies by condensing our sexual creative energy, practicing a superior sexuality, also known as sexual transmutation or white tantrism. And to do this work, it is necessary to have a stable partner of the opposite sex. And why is this so? Because just as only through the sexual union between a man and a woman could the creation of a physical body occur, the union of the feminine sexual energy with the masculine sexual energy is needed so that this creative capacity is activated in us. Actually, this is the reason why we come to this world as male and female, so that we can achieve the goal of self-realization. Our partner must be interested to collaborate with us in the work of spiritual birth, which consists in not to get overexcited during the sexual practice, to never reach orgasm or ejaculation, since chastity is the basis of this work. We need to value the creative sexual energy and its importance on our inner work. It is also important not to change partners. This work must be done in fidelity. In the event that it is necessary to change partners, we must consider that the valid reasons for it are infidelity, that the partner is unfaithful to us; fornication, that after a prudential time teaching the couple the importance of supra-sex, doesn't want to do the work and doesn't want to stop expelling sexual energy; or in case the partner dies. In case any of these occur, it is recommended to wait at least a year of magnetic pause to start working with a different partner. Also, we need to learn to love and value our partner. It is important that both are aware of the work they are going to do, and they must work to improve it every day. The secret of the practice is to connect the male sexual organ with the female sexual organ without ever spilling the sexual creative energy. The steps for the sexual transmutation practice are as follows. First, clean the energy of the place where you are going to do the practice with the Belilin conjuration, and close it by making the magic circle of protection. We learned those conjurations in Lecture 7. It is very important to keep in mind not to do the practice of sexual transmutation without first cleaning and closing the environment, to prevent negative entities from interfering in the practice, leading us to lose sexual energy to feed on it. After cleaning the energy of the place, make a request to your inner Father and Divine Mother to help you in the practice. The next thing will be to light the fire with caresses and kisses to achieve a perfect lubrication in the woman's sexual organ and a good erection in man's sexual organ. It's important to remember that these kisses and caresses must be conscious, focused on achieving the sexual potency necessary for energy transmutation, so that they don't lead to overexcitement and loss of energy. For this, it is important to purify the practice by daily working to eliminate our defects of lust, in addition to working with psychological death to eliminate those sensations recorded in the instinctive center that rush us to orgasm and ejaculation. Thus, we increasingly regain more control in the practice. Once a good erection has been achieved in the man and a perfect lubrication in the woman, we proceed to the connection or penetration. Once connected, we proceed to make our sexual energy ascend through our spine to the point between the eyebrows through a simple breathing process. The breathing process to transmute sexual energy is quite simple. It consists of inhaling deeply and slowly until filling your lungs, and then taking the air to your sexual gonads, ovaries in women, testicles in men. Trying to do this inhalation slowly and deeply, reaching 20 seconds into the inhalation if possible. Then the air is retained while imagining the sexual energy which, like a golden thread, goes from the sexual gonads to the coccyx, and from there, it will ascend through the entire spine to the point between the eyebrows. This process should be done slowly, reaching 20 seconds in the retention if possible. And once the energy reaches the point between the eyebrows, the air will be exhaled by pronouncing the following sound, slowly and elongated. Then we repeat the breathing and imaginative process, and when we reach the point of exhaling the second time, we will do it with the sound. Then we repeat the procedure again, and the third time we exhale with the sound. We repeat this process as many times as necessary to transmute all sexual energy. The pronunciation of these sounds will generate a specific vibration on that energy that will activate its superior creative capacity. If at any time the sexual potency drops, that is, the man loses some erection or the woman loses some lubrication, you will make soft movements to recover the potency and continue transmuting the energy. This practice can be extended for as long as the couple wishes, or for as long as they have sexual potency. And as soon as the potency completely ends, the practice ends. We must remember that the success of this practice is to withdraw from it without spilling the sexual energy, that is, without ever reaching the point of expelling the energy through orgasm and ejaculation. It is very important to stay focused during the practice and not allow our mind to distract us with any thought, but keep our consciousness centered in the action. Imagination is also very important. For the wise to imagine is to see and create. Therefore, we must strive to imagine the energy going up through the spine. And we must have will, which is the metal to overcome desire. Some important recommendations to consider are: to practice once a night, because the sexual glands work alternately, one per night, and it is necessary to leave a minimum of 20 hours to start working with the other. Each one must concentrate on their own genitals, since each one works with their own energy. After practice, wait at least 2 hours before showering. It is recommended to have the room in very good hygiene and cleanliness conditions. Do not use contraceptives as they isolate and affect the creative power of sexual energy. We must consider that this practice is a natural control of fertility, because the success of the practice is never reaching orgasm and ejaculation. The reproductive system and spine must be in good condition. Always remember to only make soft movements, so as not to spill the energy, that is, so that a sexual fall doesn't occur. It shouldn't be practiced during the menstrual period. 7 days must be respected. It shouldn't be practiced during pregnancy or lactation. And have patience and perseverance to control and eliminate that defect of fornication that leads us to expel energy through orgasm and ejaculation. The difference between the supra-sex practice and the commonly known infrasex practice is that in the practice of infrasex, people only seek to excite the sexual organs to the point of expelling sexual energy, and with the expulsion of this energy, we create more and more psychological defects within ourselves. Consequently, we become more and more perverse, more materialistic, and we move further and further away from our conscious part. The practice of supra-sex, on the other hand, is aimed at using our energy wisely, making it ascend to awaken our consciousness, regenerate ourselves, and create our internal bodies. Through this practice, we will get to regenerate our physical and vital bodies. Therefore, we will see great changes in the power and vitality of our body. After that, we will begin to create the astral, mental, and causal bodies successively, and to join our 2 superior spiritual bodies, to become beings of awakened consciousness in the different dimensions of nature. An act of love feeds on love. With this practice, you will discover the true meaning of making love. Thank you very much for joining us on this topic. Remember to leave us any questions you have. We invite you to join us on the following topic: how to fabricate soul and spirit. A really interesting topic, in which we will talk about the differences between the soul and the spirit, and the virtues, forces, powers, and faculties that are latent within each one of us and that we will be developing as we do this work of self-knowledge. Thank you all. See you next time.